Alright, Shalom. Before I begin this video, all praise, honor, and glory goes into Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. The honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, GMS, rule well and teach well, as well as the sincere salutations to the elder bishops, along with you brothers laboring, pushing the doctrine of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Barakathon to you, brothers. And the title of this lesson is The Triumph of the Wicked is Short. Alright? Speaking on the end of Esau Edom's rule. Right now, currently Esau Edom has a hold, on the as far as leadership in the world, as far as who's looked at, at the top, you have Esau Edom. Yet, this devil's kingdom is crumbling. Alright, and very soon it's going to topple over. Because we see the prophecies, speaking louder than ever before. We're stepping into that time. The time of what? The CHIP. Ultimately, the Lord's return. And with the Lord's return comes the destruction of Babylon the Great, aka America. Alright, so this is Job chapter 20, verse 1. Then answered Zophar the Naamathite and said, therefore do my thoughts cause me to answer, and for this I make haste. I have heard the check of my reproach, and the spirit of my understanding causeth me to answer. So it's through the spirit, the power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Right, that's how we're able to do all things. Job 20:4. Knoweth thou not this of old, since man was placed upon the earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. So the triumphing of the wicked. Alright, and not only Esau Edom, which he is the wicked. Also the end of the heathen, in any sort of position of power. The loud mouths of the 2/3 are going to be closed. Because basically, unless you're of the elect, you're wicked. Because, see, the other nations, they basically like a light version of Esau. 2/3 of Israel is basically like a lightning version of Esau. Like you got them, you got them different cold drinks. You got the regular version, then you got the the diet version of the light version. Esau Edom is full on wickedness. At its highest concentrated form. And then right behind them is the other nations and 2/3. Because they want to be just like the self-proclaimed white man. They want to rape, rob, murder, slash and dash, and finesse and steal and claw their way to the top. Right? By any means necessary. Job 20:6. Though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reach unto the clouds. Yeah. Look how highly Esau Edom is exalted. And even if nobody was to exalt Esau Edom, he'd exalt himself. And that's going to be proven when these other nations turn up on him. He going to basically say, man, fuck you other nations. I don't need y'all. All right, you see how I got the Israelites? All right, that's the pride of Esau Edom. Okay, he gonna try to, really stand on business, but guess what? The Lord's coming back. That's something he ain't ready for. All right, this is gonna be Yahweh kingdom. All right, and not here in Babylon the Great, aka America. This place is gonna be like a piece of burnt toast. When you got toast in the toaster for 7-8 minutes, pitch black, smoldering, like a piece of coal. You just touch it, it just crumbles. Nothing, dust, ashes. So we always consider that. We consider, that the Lord has this devil triumphing, yet it's not for long. This devil's time is short. Right? The scriptures speak about, Satan coming down with great wrath because he knoweth that he have but a short time. Roughly paraphrasing. So this nigga is running his evil empire as hard as he can. He's running his evil empire into the ground. Right? He's not going to be able to make it to the end. He thinks he's going to win this race. He going to lose, man. The Lord is not coming to take not even one loss. The angels aren't gonna come and take one loss. All the losses are gonna be on Esau Edom's end. All right, now right now all the W's are on Esau Edom's end. He living the choice life. Even these, Joe 6-pack crackers. Okay, they living it good. They living it up. All right, we can see the triumphing of the wicked. All right, we understand that. We don't let that get to us to the point of overthrow. Because you see Esau Edom ruling, and you like, damn, you really have to, see it for what it is. This nigga Esau Edom is ruling. He's ruling with an iron fist. Okay? Job 20:7. Yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? Yeah, where this, where the big bad so-called white man at? We're gonna be making fun of you in the kingdom. Who the top level Edomite here? Because they all gonna be unrecognizable. You're not gonna be able to distinguish who is who unless you got the spirit power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. The heathen gonna be like, damn, who is that? Who is that specifically? Okay, this is, so-and-so Rothschild, this is so, I'm just speaking as a man. That's gonna have to be explained to them, okay? Because they're gonna be unrecognizable. Esau Edom gonna be getting beat black and blue. That's gonna put fear into them other nations, man. Seeing Esau get done like that, you know, and it's gonna make them say, okay, I don't want to get done like that, because they're gonna understand that Yahweh Shem Shai has set the Israelites up in perfect bodies. You know, so going against them is certain deletion. You'll certainly be deleted. We'll be perfect judges. Job 20:8. He shall fly away as a dream. Yeah, this nigga is a nightmare. It shall not be found. Nobody will be looking for you. You know, your ass gonna be working. Them 1,000 years you ain't chilling. You gonna be working. Here it is. This devil don't want to go into captivity, right? And he got everybody in captivity. Here it is. He talking about, okay, let's we all one. Let's all be together. Yeah, look at Esau Edom and his power structure. What he set up. You know, Esau Edom, he not sharing none of the spotlight. All the praise goes to him. Right? When you think about the infrastructure of this, this America, from America to these other countries, you think about the so-called white man. If you go to Singapore, it looks like the so-called white man set that up. And he did. Right? He got all the different permits, all the ability to do all these different, buildings, and that's a lot involved. The banking, the financing to do that, the surveying the land. That's all Esau Edom. Right? Esau Edom tell you, okay, you can't be right here on this day, but you can't be over here on this day. You don't see the so-called Chinese man popping out of the woodworks. Just ruling completely. Ruling over everybody. No, you don't see that. Now you see him, living it up. You see him following after the so-called white man and getting the perks of that, but you don't see him truly doing his own thing. Right? Because at the end of the day, they answer to Esau Edom. More specifically, the international banking elite, which are those that high, I'm being facetious, high level noble class of Edomites. And they know and understand what's coming on, what's happening next. Okay, because the Lord has set them up, and the Lord has pushed out through the left hand Esau Edom's plan. See, it's ultimately the Lord's plan. It's ultimately Yahweh Shem Shai's plan. And he's using Esau Edom, to push his plan. All right, Job 20:10, it says, his children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore their goods. His bones are full of sin of his youth, which shall lie down with him in the dust. Damn. No more wickedness. They're going to speak on the Israelites. Hey, righteousness is back. All right, through Yahweh Shem Yahushua. All right, things are fine. Things are finally righteous. Things are finally, making sense now. See, because right now the people are mourning, lamenting, hurting. You know. Yet coming soon, the Lord is gonna come back. He's gonna set everything straight. Set everything right. Okay, this is what we have to look forward to. Job 20 and 12. Though wickedness be sweet in his mouth, though he hide it under his tongue. Yeah, this nigga with all his fancy words. All his, like they call it, legalese. He has a you can get, you can just sign a bogus contract and he'll just word it to where it just look good. He do it all the time. You look at the terms and conditions. This nigga got you set up. Then anything you try to do, he go, look right here. It says that the justification of the ramifications, and that's another thing that Jake 2/3 don't like to admit either, is that shit. You speaking a bastard tongue. We speaking English. We speaking English. This damn devil, he beat us down, and now he got us, speaking his language. All right, the northern kingdom brothers and sisters, they speaking Spanish. It's you are forced to do these things. Yeah, in the kingdom, we're gonna be speaking Hebrew. Zephaniah 3:9, it says, "For then I will turn to the people a pure language, that they may all call upon the name of the Lord, to serve him with one consent. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Ba'ashem Akakodash." Salakia.